Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. Right, the market has been going very well. We've had some interesting moves over the week. We're going to have a look at those. We've also had some great trades in the week, which we'll go through during trade setups. So for those that are watching the video for the first time, note there are timestamps under the description of each end of my videos. So that is timestamps for all the pairs that we're going to discuss here during this webinar. So if you just click under the show more tab under the description, you will find all those timestamps as you can see there. So you can watch only the specific pairs that you're interested in. This also helps to backtest, going back, looking at how we analyze the structures, coming with the patterns and how we eventually get to trades. Some of you have been learning a few things from these videos. I'm glad I'm getting that positive feedback, and I'm glad if you are actually making out of money in this and incorporating it into your strategy as well. Let me just disable all these annotations. Okay, so those are the timestamps, and if you want to contact me, my contact details are also there. You can contact me via my email address or my mobile number, which you can use via Telegram or WhatsApp. If you want to follow me on TradingView, that is my TradingView link. Also my Telegram channel, this is where I post the live webinar links. If you would like to attend these webinars live, you'll find the link under this channel. You will also find the link under my Facebook page. I don't have it open. Let's see if we can get it open quickly. So my Facebook page and my profile name there you'll see. It's also my personal page, so you'll typically find the link here. About 2 hours before the start of the webinar. So that is the link if you'd like to join the webinars live. So that's where you'll find it. So our next course starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 11th of November. It's going to be a 2 weeks course. So that is from tomorrow the 11th up until the 22nd of November. That is the last course for this year. The next course is going to be in February. The dates will still be confirmed. So that means this is the last opportunity to attend the course this year, and you'll only attend next year in February. So the course is fully recorded on videos. So even after this course, if you'd like to join and just be part of the group until you attend the live course in February, you're welcome to do so, because you can watch the whole course on videos. You get that access immediately when you join us. Now, let's talk about what we do in our group. We have got a Slack group. Please make sure that you are registered on Slack already when you join us, because you're going to need the Slack platform in order to access all our setups and interact with over 470 members in our group that are trading the Elliott Wave theory. So you've got about 470 members looking at the charts with the same eyes. Now let's go through some trade recaps. Last week we spoke about how to trade fundamentals, and we saw how we traded the CAD news. I don't necessarily trade the CAD news. All I do is follow the structures and see what the structures are giving us in terms of clues. We will go through those recaps. Let's start from the beginning of the month. We started with the silver trade. So silver has been going amazing. So you see here, I said we have got these three-wave moves down. If you remember, I showed a structure that we've seen on Euro, US dollar, and Bitcoin, the structure that we traded on Bitcoin so well. And I said that it was forming on both silver and gold. Now, this is silver, and this is a three-wave move that we saw coming here on silver. Let's get my annotation a bit thicker than this. We saw the three-wave moves down. We saw the three-wave moves back, and right from the blue box, we identified that this is where the down move is going to come. Now, as far as our strategy is concerned, we don't just trade because we see a down move. We trade because we've got a special indicator that confirms whether this is a reversal or this is a continuation pattern. During our course, we've got a special day a special seminar where we go through the use of that indicator. You need training to use those indicators, also to understand the algorithm behind that indicator. It's not just an indicator that you can use individually. That is an indicator that is incorporated to the wave theory. Remember, this theory is a forecasting tool. It tells you the direction of the market, but it doesn't tell you where to take the trades. That's where I see a lot of people making mistakes. You see, people know the direction of the market, but what they don't get is the timing of the market. when do you take the trade and when do you exit? That is where most people get the challenge. Now, this is a silver trade, and I said we're not interested, even if it's reversing here, we'll only be interested if this happens and our indicator confirmed, and that is why you saw silver dropping like this in the week, and we've got this silver right around this area. We never looked at silver going up from when it was making this correction, and this is why you see silver having done this structure. Let's see if we've got an update here on silver. Let's check if we've got it updated. So this was the update on silver as it was coming down and said it was giving us another setup to take the trade. We actually got a setup before it even got to the corrective structure outside there, that channel. That's not just a channel, that is a regular flat. It's a three-wave pullback. Now you've got a sell setup. That was the update that our members got in the group. So there was never a doubt that this was going to go down. So this was an update last week as it was about to push through here, and this was on the daily as it was supposed to push there. That was the last update, and this was about an hour just before it started dropping, and now we are here on silver. I'm expecting it to pull back and give us a move down into the blue box. We'll do this during the market analysis, and this one has worked out amazingly well. As you can see, this is what has happened with silver. Has made a corrective structure here and has now dropped up to this level. Now the question is, what's going to happen up to this level? That is what we're going to look at during the market analysis. All right, so that's silver. It has played out amazingly well. We looked at Ethereum last week. This is Ethereum. We already discussed this one. So it went like this and it went sideways. Didn't really go anywhere. Then eventually we'll have a look at how this one has eventually played out. It didn't go to our target. It just dropped slightly, went sideways. Then we'll update where this one has gone from there as we do the crypto analysis. US dollar CAD, very interesting. We spoke about this one last week. This was traded with the news. I said this was posted an hour before the news happened. I would not have known what the result of the news were, but you can see that this has pushed up higher and it's now almost reaching the target after correcting here for a couple of sessions. Now we are here with the US dollar CAD. Let's see if I've got it updated. I've got an update of the structure there. See how far we are. Not really, there is no update, but we can go to the actual price. This way it was correcting and eventually it has pushed up to this level. We should reach target now. So let's just have a look at US dollar CAD and how that has played out so far. It looks very interesting. Right, so now the next time you want to know, you want to understand how to trade fundamentals, you just need to understand the Elliott Wave theory, because that is the only tool that you have. The technicals will tell you where the market is going. So this is where we were, and this is where we are now, just a few pips shy of the target. I believe it may even push higher than where we are currently. We'll update that during the market analysis. Let's continue with our trade recaps. Let's go to our Slack platform. That was US dollar CAD. We discussed EURCAD as well. EURCAD, this was also an hour before the market, before the CAD news, and this one went straight to the target in just a couple of hours, over 200 pips in just a matter of hours. So this was US dollar CAD, EURCAD, and this is how it played out. Look at that, just this is a 4-hour chart, so just a couple of hours and you're right on target. That is how we trade CAD. CADJPY, we have been speaking about this one a couple of days leading up to this drop, and now you will see another trade exactly similar to this one that is going to do the exact same thing. So stay put for the market analysis on the CAD, not on the CAD pairs, but on the yen pairs as well, because you are going to get a trade exactly like this one. You can already start looking at it on AUDJPY. Now, like I said, you will know the direction of the market, but when do you take a trade? It is not just a matter of a flag and then it drop. What about a flag? What if you're getting a flag and it just keeps going on like this? You need something that confirms to you that that is the direction, it is the reversal, and you will get that direction. This was New Zealand US dollar, and obviously we are just human. We don't have, I don't have, this is not magic. So you see that this was a New Zealand US dollar. I expected it to drop after making this impulsive move, but it has now went and done this move, and it is only dropping now. So we got this one wrong. So you do get those wrongs. That's why risk management is critical. Now here is an interesting one, New Zealand CAD. Again, after the push of the CAD pairs, we saw this structure, very interesting structure, and I'll show you clearly during market analysis. This is a clear three-wave moves. You see here, you've got an entry confirmed, and this one starts dropping. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for this to drop and then push higher. We are already on our way back to the low here on New Zealand CAD. If you go check your charts, I'm not sure if I've got an update on that. Let's see if there is an update on this one. If not, you can just go and check with your charts. Just check your charts. There's no update on this one. Let's just switch off the videos there. There's no update on this one. So check the price. I'll go through to the price now so we can see how that one has played out. Let's go to the real chart now. On New Zealand CAD, you'll see that it's dropping nicely as expected, including EURCAD. We expected EURCAD to drop back after that push to the upside. Let's look at New Zealand CAD now, see how that is playing out. So this is New Zealand CAD. See, this was where we wanted it to go. This was the three-wave move, was the entry, and it is now dropping with this move. It may give us this. We'll look at this during market analysis. This move is still going to happen. The move up is still going to happen, and I will show you probably next week if we've got some time why I am so confident that this is going to come back and then it's going to give us a big move to the upside. For now, we're trading the move to the downside. That is New Zealand CAD looking very interesting then. Let's look at the rest. Now, this is AUDJPY, has not really played out as yet. Now, this is the one that I'm saying is similar to CAD yen, and this is the trade of the week, guys. So you need to keep an eye on this one. Exactly how CAD yen has played out, this looks like it's exactly how this is going to play out. If this one plays out, please buy me a can of Coke as a thank you, because you're going to get a very nice trade coming down here on this one. But I don't know if you're going to be able to catch it, but we will update this in our group. But it's going to be a very nice one, a similar drop to that one that has happened on CAD yen. So this is the update on AUD yen. As you can see, this was the update. It is still pushing higher. We are waiting for it to give us confirmation to the downside. It will definitely drop. How far will it drop? This is our target. We're looking for this trade. It's an almost guaranteed trade that this will happen. Right now, we also traded gold. You saw how gold dropped in the week. I actually had two trades on gold. The first one that I had on gold was an entry here. We had the gold trade from this level, and it dropped back up to this level. This was not the origin. This was not the target. My target on gold on this one was here. And now we got this one giving us another entry here. This was the new update last week, and now gold has already dropped up to this level. So this target has already been reached. Let's have a look here what gold has done. So this was discussed during our daily webinar. And let's see if we've got an update on gold. Yes, this is how the gold has eventually played out, as you can see. So the drop that you see on gold was started from where we sold it here. So this was another entry point here. The indicator confirmed that we can actually sell it from there. So the indicator needs to confirm the structure. If there is conflict, then you don't take that trade. So that saves you a lot of trouble. Silver, we already discussed. Okay, so now this is UK 100. UK 100, one of our traders, I don't usually trade the UK 100, I'd rather trade the S&P 500, but one of our traders identified this one for me, and that is why I've got it up on the trade setup. It's one of those almost guaranteed trades as well. So this is a new trade setup. There is no update on this one. We'll look at it during the market analysis and show you why. So the trader who put this one up, we showed it when it was still correcting here. If you remember last week in my analysis, I wanted to get one more down and then a move to the upside. Okay, I said it won't break out because I was looking at a structure similar to that one on US July Chief. Go watch last week's video. We spoke about the UK 100 at length, and now we're going to be looking for this trade here. Let's see if we're going to get a setup and you're going to get a drop back to this level. But we'll update this one during market analysis. One of the new trades. Let's see if we've got the new ones that you can benefit it in the next week. Some of the trades of the week, we'll be looking for Euro New Zealand to continue the drop. We'll do this one during market analysis. You're lucky you're getting these setups for free. So this is for our members. This is the latest update on AUDJPY. We'll be tracking this one. Right, hopefully you get that and you make some money too. And that is the trade recap for this week, and that's how we're looking at how we look at the markets. Now let's get into the analysis for this week. All right, I've already spoken about the cost. It's the last course of the year, so let's start with market analysis. We'll start with the cryptocurrencies. Let's start with Bitcoin. Very interesting move on Bitcoin, and as we have looked at this, it has played out exactly how we've looked at it. So that is Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, last week we looked at this structure. We were looking at this three-wave move here. 1, 2, 3 coming down here, 1, 2, 3 coming up here. Now we wanted Bitcoin to drop from current levels and give us another three-wave structure. I actually wanted this one to bounce up. I actually wanted it to bounce up from this level because there's a possibility for this move to give for it to give us this move. But now it has dropped with that structure. This is still going to continue for one more down. This is now looking like an impulsive move. So if this is an impulsive move, this one has to be a leading diagonal for you to call it an ABC. It can only be an ABC because this is an impulsive move. It's a motive wave down here, and it's another impulsive move here. So both moves, as much as this one is a diagonal and this one is a motive wave, this is the only reason why you can call it an ABC structure. Okay, so that is what we have. So Bitcoin, we're looking for one more down after the break of this flag. Then we should see a bit of a retracement from those levels. Now, this is your diagonal, A, B, C. Now, somebody can ask, why am I not looking at it as a WXY? Because there are no three waves there. Now, you cannot simply look at this structure alone as an ABC if you're looking to trade the wave theory. This is a three-wave move, yes, but what about the rest of the structure? You need to look at these as well. So there's a relationship between this, and there's a relationship between this one. So you cannot just go and say, oh, I'm seeing three waves here. So the sequence depends on where the swing started, and the swing started here. So this is your A, this is your first A. Now you've got a red B here, a red A here. It's a lower degree than that. Now you want this one to drop in yellow, and then you can get this one. Whether this is going to give you a running flat or an expanding flat, it's another story. But we want this to give us one more down, and then we're going to be looking for this to give us a structure possibly like this, and then a move to the upside. So Bitcoin, as much as we're still expecting one more down here, we should get a bit of a retracement here. Whether this red structure is going to make a running flat or an expanding flat, that's what we're going to need to have a look at. So this red will be like this. So you have now identified the whole corrective structure. Okay, so that's the whole corrective structure, and that is all your correction. And then after that correction, you need to go up. Okay. Right, so that is why you also cannot just come here and label this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But where do you go from there? It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get a correction, and then you get a move to the downside, and you get another ABC. But because if you have just looked at the only one swing, you cannot relate it to this. You will not know what the next direction is after this. But because now you know, you understand the whole cycle and the sequence, you know you need to go up here, you need to come down here, and then you need to push up higher. So you need to identify all the moves, not just a single move. Remember, you're not trading support or resistance or trend lines, because with those kind of strategies, you only get one move ahead. But with the wave theory, you can focus the next 5, 10 years on a move. And that is how we're looking at Bitcoin. Immediate move, look for drop. This drop may not go on anyway, so we may get a retracement just after this drop. So it's risky to sell it at current levels. You should have got it here, or you should have got it right at the top here. So that is how Bitcoin is looking. Now let's look at Ethereum. Slightly different structure because Ethereum has now pushed up higher. Let's have a look now. Again, you need to relate all the structures. This move starts here with a move to the downside. Now you've got a three-wave move here. What is happening with this one? You're getting another three-wave move here. Let's use green for this one. What's going to happen with this? Now, there must be a relationship between all the structures. Are we getting this to be a W in red? Not shouldn't even be red. It should be, let's get a different color here. Let's use yellow. This is a three-wave move. Are we going to get a three-wave move in green that does this? The one down move that you're getting on Bitcoin should possibly be this one. And because you've got now this sequence. It tells you now that this move cannot continue lower before it does this. Any three-wave structure that must complete, any three-wave structure, I should use a different color so it can be clear. Any three-wave structure like this, that will be completed by this. Now you'll see how I'll put on the numbers here or the letters here for labeling, then it will make sense. Now you've got WXY. I'm not saying it's going to be a regular flat, it can be any corrective structure. The bottom line is that you've got a WXY structure and it is your three-way move like this. Let's put this one up in white. It's a bit of an education here. I'm going into a little bit more detail than I should for a weekly webinar. So that is your three-way move here, but that three-way move is coming after this impulsive move to the downside. So what you have here is a big ABC structure, A, and your ABC structure is this three-way move. It's your B and your C here. A, B, C, that's why you'll expect this move to continue higher. This one should be like this. And your move will be this one that started here will then continue from here. So we will still have more sideways move here before we go anywhere on the crypto. So WXY internally here and ABC structure out here, then we get the move to the upside. So that's how we're looking at this. And you can see the structure WXY, three-way move here. So what is the next immediate move? You're looking for Ethereum to give you this move to the downside. All right, so let's carry on with the rest. Litecoin. I see there's something on the chat box. Let's just check what that is. Oh, that's Desmond just agreeing with the analysis. Thank you, Desmond. Desmond is in our group. All right, so that is, now this is Litecoin. Again, you can see all of the cryptos, the move started after this pulse move up to this level. Now we've got this move to the downside. You also have this three-way move here in 1, 2, 3. What's going to happen from there? That's what we need to see here now. We've got, let's use a different color now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Can we come down with another 1, 2, 3 or a pulsing move? Then we'll identify what the next structure is. So we're looking for this one to give us a bit of a pullback to the downside. If that happens, again, you should expect another move like this, then it will complete this. That's how you look at the sequences. Now this will be a A and the whole thing will be a B and your C. Now you can look at this one to be a W, X, and a Y internally, and you will look at this one as your move up, and this will be your white degree. And that's how you look at this WXY structure. What is your next immediate move? You're looking for this one. It's a short move to the downside that we're looking at on the cryptos. That is Litecoin and Ripple. Ripple, we wanted it to go all the way, but for now, if you're just looking on the lower degree, you've got this one here. It should give you this three-way pullback and make one more move to the downside and follow the rest of the cryptocurrencies. So Ripple, I will update the higher degree structure next week. So for now, this is what we're getting. We're still going to get one more move to the downside. Possibly make this a 1, 2, 3 corrective structure and another one like this. So this will be a 1, 2, 3 ABC structure here. That will be a whole corrective structure. Let's use a different color. That ABC structure will be something like that. You'll see that will be a correction like on silver. Then we should expect Ripple to then drop here. I wanted to get an impulse. It looks like it's not ready as yet. The impulsive move that I want on Ripple looks like we're going to have. This is what I was showing you here. 1, 2, 3 up, 1 down before we get that impulse. Remember, this is the impulse that I've been looking for the last couple of months, since last year. It's not coming yet, but we can keep trading the short-term moves that we're given. Only one that you can trade is this one to the downside after the three-wave pullback. If you get that three-wave pullback, then you can trade this move and this move. All right, so those are the cryptocurrencies. Now let's look at the indices. Indices have played out inch perfect to the analysis. Now let's look at the S&P 500 first. Now we are right at the top of that boundary on the S&P 500. Is it still a diagonal? So far, it still is a diagonal. This is the diagonal on the S&P 500. Remember, this is a wave 4. I'll show you why this is a wave 4 in the higher degree. We're on the daily here. It's pushing up higher. Now, this is a move to the upside. Now, let's have a look at that as a diagonal. It starts with this pulsing move, 1, 2. Now, I said there's two possibilities here. This can be the wave 3 in 3 waves. You've got 1, you've got 2. The wave 3 can be in 3 waves, and we should come back down. We should come back with a zigzag or another corrective structure to make a 4 and then a 5. So the indices are not ready to drop with a big move yet. Yes, we're going to get a pullback currently, and then we're going to eventually get this move. So this will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending diagonal in wave 5. Will this be the move that reverses here? But there's another possibility that I need to show you here. So there's a case where this does not drop like that. Let's show you what will happen there. So much detail today. So there's a possibility to pull back in this wave and make a move like this. Then this becomes a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 in wave 5. So this diagonal could be just the start of the wave 1 of the last move here in an S&P 500. But after the diagonal, the leading diagonal here, you should get a pullback and a move to the upside. Then you'll get that big move that corrects the whole swing on the S&P 500. Let's go to the weekly so you can see what we are looking at. So this is the part that you guys don't necessarily see weekly because we don't have time to go through this. As you can see that we waste a lot of time just going through this. So now this is a wave 4. Now this wave 5, it can be, it qualifies already to be a wave 5, so it can reverse at any point. But this move here, you can see that this was the internal one here. Let's do this. Can you see that you've got an internal structure here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this wave 5 that we have can be the start of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within the wave 5. So that's what I was showing you. And that could be a wave 5 like that. You see, that makes a lot of sense. So as much as this is a leading diagonal, it can be a leading diagonal for wave 1, 2, 3, 4. Just note that this is not exactly the sizes or the actual price that I'm forecasting. This is an annotation on the Zoom webinar that I'm using. So only here can we expect a big move back to the 50 to 60% of this whole swing. But for now, we're keeping on pushing higher with this move, pullback, 3-5 waves like that. So where are we now? We are here at the top. We're expecting a pullback here now. Is this pullback going to be the wave 5? For me, when I look at this, it's going to be too small of a wave 5 compared to the rest of the structure. So that's why I'm expecting. Even if we get a pullback, it will be only the start. You see how interesting these structures are. So if you see this in a higher degree, you trade with confidence whatever happens. Okay, so that is our wave 5. Let's go to the lower degree here on the S&P 500. We'll go to the 4-hour. Looking in the 4-hour, let's go auto. As much as this can push higher to the top of the boundary here, this is no longer safe to buy here. You need to get this one to, we'll come back to the lower, to the bottom of the lower boundary. Okay, so let's go to the 1-hour. So I just want to see here, divergence here. Let's have we don't even have divergences yet, so this one will still push higher. There's no divergence here. The price and the indicator are doing the same thing, so this can continue higher from this level and come back and then come back. But for now, it is still pushing higher. No signs of reversal yet. No confirmation of reversal. Still pushing higher on the S&P 500. Let's look at the Dow. Before we do that, let's have a look. I think there's something on the chat box. Okay, there's nothing there. So the Dow is similar. We are also on a diagonal. Also looking at this as a wave 4. It's exactly the same structure as you can see. 1, 2, will this be the 3 like that, 4, 5, and then a pullback? Or similarly, we get a 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. 1, 2, 3. And it's not going to be this length, guys. It may be longer than this. So exactly the same as the S&P 500. 1, 2, 3. Let me show that this is the lower degree so it doesn't get confusing. So the lower degree will label it with red. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 within the diagonal, 4 within the diagonal, and a 5. And that will be a bigger wave 1 2, 3, 4, 5. Only then will we expect the big moves on the indices. For now, we're not expecting those moves, right? So that is the Dow. The NASDAQ will have a similar structure, although the higher degree structure is slightly different. This one is pushing higher, getting out of the diagonal now, so it is already there. So we should start seeing pullbacks here on the NASDAQ. Let's see, we've got divergence on the NASDAQ on the 4-hour. You can see this is starting to do this. This is still making a higher high, so we should get that pullback back to the lower boundary, also making a diagonal. Will it do this and then push higher? Very likely that can happen. That is the NASDAQ. Just need to track it. The clearer one is the S&P 500. Now let's look at the UK 100, one that I've got as a new trade setup. Now that red line, there's a significance to it, but we're not going to discuss that here. Showing us that this price has gone into our blue box, and now we're looking already for a pullback. So that's the trade that I showed you. Look for a correction here and the drop here on the UK 100. It has made a clear WXY structure. It's a WXY with internals like this. It's a 3-wave in the lower degree, 1, 2, 3, 3-wave in correction, 1, 2, 3 within the Y. Now we're dropping with this move. If you watch my video called How to Trade WXY or WXY XZ like a pro, search for it on my channel. Then you'll understand why this is a very, very important trade to look at in the next couple of sessions. That video will explain exactly why we want this to drop and then want to drop with a significant move like that. Okay, so watch that video. Very, very interesting video. I think it's already got 40,000 views on YouTube. That's very good. Please like the video as well. Like this one as well. So it's going to be an interesting one for the next couple of sessions. I hope you can catch this one. We'll be tracking this one in our group. So that is the UK 100, and that's what we're looking at now. The DAX. As we said, you can see we said that this is going to continue pushing higher. As we're getting this 3-wave move, we should get a pullback here as well, similar to the AUDJPY trade. Let's have a look here. No divergences yet, no indication there that we've got a reversal. So we'll still expect one more up before we get this move. But that move will come eventually. Okay. So that's what we're going to be looking for. Now, the down move has not confirmed yet, so don't sell this. Don't sell this. Don't pick tops, don't pick bottoms. You need to get confirmation. That is the DAX. Now, the Nikkei, similar. We want it to push higher, but eventually we need to get this one to start pulling back now to get this move. Nikkei is a 3-move up, it's a 3-move back, and a 3-move up. Now we want it to pull back to get this straight here. So it's going to be interesting in the next couple of sessions. These are very interesting trades. If you trade the indices, this is what you should be looking at. That is a Nikkei. And lastly, on the indices, the NIFTY. If I missed any, please let me know which one I missed. Of the pair of the indices that we discuss here, usually not any new ones. Now, NIFTY has reached up to this point. I just wanted to pull back here. I wanted to pull back, not necessarily reverse. What we're looking at on the NIFTY was this running flat here. Let's show this one here. We had this running flat, and the move, the up move, the current up move came as a result of this correction. Now we are right here at the top. Are we going to get another one up before we get a pullback and continuation higher? I don't expect this to drop from here. It should continue higher, but we need to get a deeper correction like that. Let's have a look here. If we've got some divergence, we do have some divergence, so this may not be going very far. New high, there's no new high on the indicator, on the RSI. So let's see if we're going to get a pullback. Now, it's important to know when it's going to be a pullback correction, because if it's a correction like this, it's not a trade. But if it's a reversal, that's what is a trade. Okay, so those are the indices. Now, let's have a look at the majors, the US dollar pairs. Let's look at Euro US dollar and the DXY. We'll start with the Euro. Now the euro, we wanted this one to be a corrective structure here, something like this, and push higher. Now we're coming down with this move. This has not broken the top here, so it cannot be an AB based pattern. So we'll look at this as an impulsive move. It's starting a new swing to the downside here. We need to get a move here that's going to fill this space here. Are we going to get a corrective structure here? We're going to need to get a pullback. After getting the pullback, that means you're going to have continuation to the downside. Now, as I've said, let's have a look at the higher degree structure. We were looking at this move, the current move on euro, as an ending diagonal. And what we want after the ending diagonal is a big correction here. It looks like this one is not going, because we want this corrective structure to come at least back to the 50% or the 60% of this first move. Now, as I said, this can be a very corrective one. It can do this. You can have something like this. You can have something like that. It can go very correctively, something like that, and you get this. So we just have to keep tracking this. You can even get something like this. But eventually what you want is a corrective structure that will give you one and then continuation all the way back to this low. So that's why we're tracking euro US dollar. But for now, it looks like we're going to get this move back down here. So let's track this one. So the next move on the euro, you're looking for this correction here and back here. We were looking for it to give us a correction here and do this. So it can play out a number of ways, but that's not the move we're looking at. The move we're looking at is when this correction is done, we should get this one continue lower. Then from there, you hold it for a number of days, or you just keep getting sell setups and keep pushing lower. All right, so the Vutrong is busy typing there. I only understand English, unfortunately. I don't understand the language that you're using there. Unfortunately, you have to use English if you need a response. Okay, so that is euro US dollar and what we're looking at. Now let's have a look at the DXY. The DXY is pushing higher. So the same here, you've got a diagonal in the on the inverse of the DXY. So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at this to be a wave 5 having ended, and we're going to start getting a corrective structure. Will it do this, that, do that, do that, and keep giving us this corrective structure and then continue higher, because then that will be a one, that will be an ABC structure. But the move we're looking for is this one. So we can still spend quite some time in this corrective structure here. So for now, look for this on the DXY. That means short-term dollar strength, going back to the previous high here, and short-term euro weakness. All right, so now let's look at US dollar CAD, no, rather pound US dollar before US dollar CAD. Pound US dollar, we've made a three-wave move. Remember, pound US dollar, we're looking for this move. Let's switch this off and show you what we're looking at. We're looking for pound US dollar to go all the way back to the previous high. We want it to come here. Now let's see here, it looks like we're pulling back with a very strong move. We've made a 1, 2, 3 up here, so we could be pulling back with this sharp corrective structure here, but eventually we should get back up to there. It does not go in a straight line. That's why we can see that we've got this move coming down here. Let's have a look here on that move, this move. When will we get that upside? Will we or will we? Let's have a look. So there's also another possibility of this structure, but I don't want to look at this now. If it is, then this means pound is going to do this. But that's not the structure that I'm interested in right now. I'm just interested in looking at if we're going to get a setup here that does give us this corrective structure. But whatever we get here, this corrective structure should be tradable because that's on the higher degree. Let's have a look on the 4-hour and see what we're getting on the pound pair, pound US dollar. So far, you can look at this as a three-wave move, but it's not clear. That's where you need to get confirmation. That's where our indicator comes in. Are we going to get this? If you get this, then this is going to be the start of that deeper corrective structure. You'll see pound chief is also already on a very deep corrective structure. We'll have a look at that when we get to the pound pairs. So what are we looking for? I don't really expect this to be a three-wave move and a push higher. It's not giving us a clear structure there. So let's wait for this to give us a setup here. And then we start looking for this downside. If we get a pulsing move at the start of the session, then that's going to be a different issue. Then it's going to be, we're going to be looking, we can then accept this as a corrective structure. But for now, you need to wait for confirmation of what's going to happen here on pound US dollar. All right, so that is pound US dollar. You can't do anything until you get confirmation for that structure. If this, let's just go back one. If this had broken the top here, If this had broken the top here, I was going to say this was going to go all the way down, because then that will be an AB base pattern. I don't know if you guys know the AB base pattern. You can go read up on it if you're not in our group. So this could be an AB base pattern, and the AB base pattern usually results in a move like this, a reversal. But it did not, so does not qualify. All right, so that is a pound US dollar. We'll be tracking that one. US dollar CAD, I've shown you this one during trade recaps. That's the one we traded with the CAD news from right at the bottom here. An hour before the news has been correcting in the last week, eventually broke out of the structure, corrected and pushed higher. Now I still expect that this is going to give us, even if it's one more up, before another deeper corrective structure and then upside. Now for now, wait for this correction. It's too high now. And for you to know if it's going to be a continuation pattern, it's a bit of a tricky one, because I see here we've got 1, 2, 3 here. Correction, we've got 1, 2, 3. So this can be the last move here, and then we get a deeper correction and then upside. So our indicator tells us if you are going to get continuation pattern to the upside, or if this is the end of the move. Okay, so it's not only the wave theory that you can apply here. You know that gives you direction, but the strategy itself requires a bit of a different application. So let's see here if it's going to be a three-wave move, and then we get the drop. Okay, so that is a US dollar CAD. Can't do anything yet. The trade just needs to complete at this level. You're just missing the end target here by a few pips here. Okay, should come here. Then you get out of the trade and wait for a new setup. That's US dollar CAD, US dollar CHF. US dollar CHF, I've been looking for this one to drop from this current structure. Let's have a look here. It did not go, and you can clearly see why it didn't go. We were looking at this as a three-wave move here, but if you look at this one, this is a very impulsive to be a three-wave move. So that's the reason why this did not go. So this has made a three-wave move here. It's making another three-wave move up here. Can we get this one to push slightly higher, since the US dollar is going to be strong in the next couple of sessions? We get something like this. Then we get this, and one more up. So this long-term focus. For now, just focus on getting a bit of a continuation here to go retest the top, and then a reversal back to the previous low. So then after that, you get a move like this. Then it's going to be 1, 2, 3 wave move. Then you can look for this to drop. Let's make it simple. Look for this and back up here. That's US dollar CHF, Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar and the Audi pairs, they look like they're going to drop. The Audi pairs look like they're going to drop. Look for this here. Look for a correction. Look for a drop. The same way you'll be looking for a correction on AUDJPY, Audi US dollar will be looking for a correction and then continuation to the downside. I am not looking at this as a corrective structure. This is too deep to be a corrective structure for continuation to the upside. I may be wrong, but if I am, we will be able to see that. But for now, look for this to correct and then downside. That's US dollar, Audi US dollar. New Zealand. New Zealand has already made a move to the upside like that. We've got a pulsing move down. Now, two things you can look at here. You can look at this as a three-wave move, but I'm not looking at this as a three-wave move, because you don't have a B that is this impulsive. So that cannot be a B. So we've got a pulsing move down here. Look for a correction and continuation to the downside, similar to what you're looking for on Audi US dollar. Now, US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR have made a gap down. Last week, we said that it was going to continue higher, and we're going to be looking for this structure on US dollar ZAR. We wanted to look at this like a move, like this move. That has changed slightly, so let's have a look at what the change is here. It has dropped from that analysis to this level. Now we've got this corrective structure. We should be looking for it to come back down here. There's still a possibility that we are getting this structure here running flat. 1, 2, 3 like this, and then a push higher. So we just need to track this. Looks like there's a setup for downside. As much as you've got a gap here, some like to get the gap filled. Doesn't really matter to me. To me, a gap is a pulsing move. So we would want the structure to complete down here first if we're going to get any move to the upside. So we're looking for this to drop here on from this correction here. Let's have a look on the 1 hour and look at that corrective structure on US dollar ZAR. Let's go auto here so we can see the structure clearly. That is the structure. We're looking for this to start dropping from here. Now look for a trade to go and test this level here on US dollar ZAR. Okay, very interesting structure. If you get this one here, doing this, it's going to be an interesting trade. So I'll be looking at as well. Just want to get confirmation, and then we'll be looking for this back to the previous low. I think we'll be trading this one in this week. Right, so let's run through the yen pairs. Pound yen, still in the sideways move. We still, as I said last week, the pound pairs need to fill up this corrective structure. We just need to follow and track and see what structures they are forming. For now, we've got a pulsing move and a move to the upside. From there, we're getting a three-way move down, a three-way move up. This one is doing that. Can we get this one up here and then down? Now, if we get the up move and the down, that means we're going to get this one to complete, this one to complete, then we're going to get this upside. So that means we still have a couple of moves here to go sideways. Now it looks like I've just drawn lines here. These lines make a lot of sense because it's corrective structures within corrective structures, what we call complex corrections. You've got an A, B, C in yellow. Okay, internally you've got, I'm going to use purple here. I should have used different colors here. You've got W, X, Y. Now the red, let's see what structure is the red. It's a WXY. We'll put in brackets just so it's a lower degree, XY, for those that like labeling a lot. So the labeling tells you the structure that's going to form in the moves that you're expecting. Okay, so let's have a look here. This one internally, you've got a W in green, X and a Y. And that's, you can go through this with lower degrees and lower degrees, labeling it, but eventually you want, even if this one drops slightly and push up higher, the move that you're looking for is this one to push slightly higher, and this, and trade this one and this impulsive move, and then eventually this is the one. It won't go too far, but you should be able to get this one here. Let's undo here and unclutter it. You can take a screenshot of this and go and study what I'm looking at here. So this is the move, this is the move. Okay, so that's what you'll be looking at. We're going to get a move to the upside. That's the next trade for the week here on pound yen. Running through the yen pairs now. Last week, after the pulsing move on AUD on US dollar JPY, this was the pulsing move here. I expected this to continue lower. It didn't, and now let's have a look at what happened. Why didn't it go lower? Now this is the reason why it didn't go lower, and you can see now the structure clearly. You've got a move to the upside, a correction, deeper corrective structure here, and you've got a move up here. That's why that did not go. We didn't see that as an expanding flat. Let's go to the lower degree. The lower degree is a move up and a move up like that. Okay, it's three waves up. I should have used three waves here. Let's get the yellow off so you can see the right degree. Now, what are we looking at here on the last one? It's a move up and your expanding flat there. Two, that's why we're expecting one more up here. Then we should expect to get a pullback in yellow, in the yellow degree. This is still the yellow degree. From there to there, yellow degree, like that. And you can see that everything fits snugly. It's three wave moves to the upside. We should get a pullback in three waves, but it's gonna give us one more up here. Okay, we're gonna get one more up on US dollar JPY. Okay, that's why I'm expecting one more up on pound yen as well before a pullback. All right, that's a pound yen, US dollar JPY. Now the rest of the yen pairs have made three wave moves to the downside. Now watch something interesting here on EURJPY about patterns. Okay, now this pattern, this bars pattern that you see, I'll show you where I picked that one up. This was from 2017. I did an analysis on EURJPY that has given me the exact same structure that I'm looking at right now. Okay, let's clean this up here. I just want to remove everything here so we can discuss this. Now, if you look at this, I want to show you a video from 2017 so you can see where this is coming from. I'm going to show you the video and I'm going to show you where that structure comes from exactly. Now, the video, I'll try to tag it here as well. If you while you're going to watch this again, you'll find this video. It's the Elliott Wave Market Weekly Analysis from the 11th of December 2017. Let's see, it looks like I won't find it directly. Go and look at the Euro US dollar analysis. Sorry, Euro Yen analysis. There it is. Got it. Okay, so let's make this one full screen. Now, if you look at this structure on Euro Yen, it is exactly the same as what is happening now. Now, in 2017, I said, when you look at a structure like this, it looks messy. And when you start identifying what structure it is, the structures that it is, it becomes simple. I showed this structure and I said, who can tell me what the labeling is there? And nobody could tell me. That's because it looks complicated. But because you understand the structures, this is what I'm doing now, not in 2017. This is me annotating right now. I looked at this as a three-wave move down. I looked at this one as a three-wave pullback. And from there, I said, if this does that, then that means you need to get another move like this, a running flat at least. And if this is going to go from here, it's going to be a WXY. This is what I did in 2017. And eventually we got this move to the upside because it's a simple three-wave moves. Okay, combination of corrections. Now, let's just play this one slightly. Let me just play what I did in 2017. You'll see me identifying those structures. Can't share the sound as yet, so just watch. See if we can push it quicker. So this is what I identified in 2013 and 2017. And eventually we got this move to the upside. Although I wanted this one, it could have been a regular flat or an expanding flat, but a running flat is also fine. So you get a setup here for a buy and the move just goes up like that. Now, why am I showing you this video? I'm showing you this video because something exactly like what happened in 2017 is happening right now. What are we seeing here? We're seeing this complicated structure. And the structure is a simple three-wave moves to the downside. As I showed you with purple in that degree, you see here, difference is that the X here is a running flat as well. So if this is the case, we should be getting a move like this. We're getting a new move here like that. We should get another one like this, possibly push back up here, and then a move like this. It does not have to be this big. It can even be a move like this, down, but eventually we should get one more up, even if we're going to get a move to the downside. And that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a move to the downside on the euro. Now let's go back to where that video was done in 2017. Let's go to the daily, see if we can get there. So I can show you where that bus pattern. I'm going to take this off here. Now let me leave it there. So this is where I took that bus pattern. This is what I did here. I took that exact same pattern from where it started to here. This was the pattern. And I came and I said, this pattern, let's move it. Let's move this very same pattern to the current price or to the current correction so we can compare. So we're taking this one right to the end. Let's just take this one off. Let's take this one off. This is exactly what I did with this one. Now let's go back to the 4-hour. And we try to fit that pattern to the current one. Now, if you see this, you'll think that it is exactly the same thing happening at the same place, because that is how this one is playing out. So what are we expecting? If this one is fitting here like this, what are we expecting? We're expecting that we're going to get a bit of a drop. We're going to get a bit of a drop. If we're going to get an up move here, it should complete with downside. If it's going to make a running flat, it should continue from there. If it's going to make an expanding flat, it's going to continue from there. It's exactly the same pattern. Okay, so correction, and we'll expect it to push one more up. I'm expecting euro down though, as I said. Even if we get that push to the upside, eventually we should get a move to the downside. Okay, so Mike, when you do the timestamps, just say that, just put a note that there's an interesting move on euro yen there. Okay, so we will eventually expect this to drop. Why do we want it to drop? Let's put this one off now. We want it to drop because we're seeing three-way moves on all these yen pairs. Whether it's going to give us one more up as we expect, but we will expect it to go down. Okay, after the correction, it plays out. So CHFJPY, The same, we are in a corrective structure, expect this one to come back down to the low here. Bit of a correction. This is not a trade, guys. Back here, back there, and then upside. Then you're going to have this structure 1, 2, 3, and then one more up before we drop. That is CHFJPY AUD yen. We spoke about this one. It's our trade of the week. Keep an eye on it. Don't miss this one. Hope you've got a strategy to enter. Let's take this one to the downside. Don't just go and take because I said so. You need to get confirmation per your strategy. Because what will happen now, what happens is usually you find that there's an impulsive move like this. I'll show you what people do. So you've got an impulsive move there and people sell. And when you sell, it starts correcting. When it starts correcting, it looks like it's going against you. When it goes against you, what happens? You think, okay, I'm losing this trade now. You get out of the trade with a loss and then it starts doing what you exactly what you wanted it to do. But what you didn't realize was that this was the structure. 1, 2, 3 up before we drop. Okay, so keep an eye and have a specific strategy to trade this. As far as I'm concerned, it's not ready as yet. But it's going. It's all the. We've got almost 70% confirmation for this to start playing out. Possibility for this to give you one up and then down like that. Keep an eye. It's the trade of the week. That's Audi, New Zealand yen. The same. Expect either this, and then after that, 1, 2, then a correction to the downside. So keep an eye on this because this can be a 1, 2, 3 waves down and then one move to the upside and then we start coming back with this. Because this is also a 3-wave move. Like Euro yen, like Chief yen, Audi yen, they've all made 3-wave moves and they must pull back. That's why we're expecting these moves to the downside. There's also divergence here at this level. If you look on the other side, there's divergence. There's divergence on the RSI. There. This is making a new high, but there's a new low here on the RSI. Let's see if we're going to get this. Interesting trades to look at in the week. CAD yen, it's a bit of a tricky one. It needs to pull back down here. Is it going to do this up and then down? Let's have a look at this one. This one is not clear. We got the move up to here. We got out of that trade. Now we went for another setup. For now, there's no setup on CAD yen. Just leave it as it is. Look for other moves. Now let's look at silver and gold. We already looked at silver. Now I want silver on the 4-hour to drop slightly lower. Now that should pull gold slightly lower as well. Although gold is at a critical level now. Let's just switch on here. I want this one to come to the 61% here, to the 61% here and start correcting. And possibly with the same correction as this one. Okay, let's switch this one off. Possibly with the same correction, not the same, but rather the same size as that one. It can be a regular flat, but it should be as similar in size as this one. Then we get this one all the way back to around the 1570s. Now, only then can we look for upside on silver. Okay, so this is going to drop. Don't sell silver again now until you get another sell tap. Wait for another setup at current levels. Okay, so that's silver on the 4-hour. Now let's look at gold. Right, so let's look at gold. Gold, so gold, I showed you the 2 setups that we had on gold. We sold gold from this level, targeting this level. Now it didn't get all the way to that level. It came short of a few points of this level. This is where I wanted gold. Now last week we said gold is pushing higher and I expected it to push even higher like that to give us this structure. But clearly it stopped, it kept pushing lower from that level. That means the structure changed. That's why when it did this here, it could see the correction. And unfortunately, I don't mean to call you out, somebody sent me a text on WhatsApp that they actually bought gold at around 1465, and that's the wrong move. That's why I said this is a forecasting tool, so you cannot just buy because price has gotten to a certain level. You need to get confirmation. Now, what am I expecting with gold? Just for your benefit, person that has texted me, which I said, I do not prefer that you send me texts on my social media platforms asking me for trades. That's what we do for our members in Slack. I only discuss charts on our Slack group with our members. I'm only doing this because you said you are stuck and you've got no clue what to do next. So we are at this critical level. What did we say about silver? There's correlation between silver and gold. I'm expecting that we're going to get a bit of a pullback, but how far will that pullback go? That's the only thing that we don't know. But gold should continue lower again from here. Gold should continue lower. So that means gold would have made this structure. It would have made this 1, 2, 3-wave structure. It's actually not a correct Elliott wave structure. So that we should get there's a possibility that we get this bounce here. And if you get that bounce, this will be the structure that you're looking at on gold. Unfortunately, there is no clear direction on gold at this stage, because you've got to move to the upside. Let's use the right color. Let's go a bit of detail. You've got a pulsing move. You could have this one as a 3-wave correction. 1, 2, 3. And if that is the case, you expect gold to bounce, give you this structure, but then that will not go all the way back. You will have this 1, 2, 3 down, and 1, 2, 3 down. Then you'll have a similar structure to that of silver. So now what do we need? We need to see what we're getting here. If you get a pulsing move and a correction, then gold is going to go reach the top here. But if it keeps correcting here, unfortunately, you're going to be out, and this is going to go make a new move to the downside. Then that means you're going to look at this one as a whole corrective structure, giving you a new move to the downside. So let's watch this. Structurally, what makes sense is this one. What makes more sense is this one to come and retest the top. Hopefully that will give you an opportunity to quit, because that's not going to go all the way to the upside. It should come back. Hopefully that helps, but unfortunately, I don't know what your stop loss was, what your target was, and that is always the problem. You cannot take a trade without knowing where your stop is or where your exit is. I hope that helps a bit. So watch two things. Correction here, get out of the trade, because it's going to drop some more. If you get a pulsing move, hold the trade, it's going to correct here and you retest the top. Then you get out for no loss. I would rather you take it as soon as you even, then you let it go down like that. That is my only help I can give on that. Okay, so that is silver and gold. Let's run through the rest of the pound pairs. Pound chief. Pound chief going sideways. What's going to happen with this? We need to get confirmation. Will this just go sideways and then eventually push higher? Looks like that's what's going to happen. Looks like you're getting a triangle there. We're going to get one more up and then the big correction. So let's watch. Let's keep an eye on this one right now. It's not showing a clear structure. It's just going sideways. So let's have a look at that structure. It's a pulsing move. That move, as much as that is a spike, it's a move from that level to this level. And from that level, we are getting this. You've got to move to the upside, and all of this is a correction in red. So we should possibly retest the previous high here. And if there's going to be any move to the upside, we should get this down and then a move to the upside. That's why it's very important to understand the sequence and the cycle. Okay, so here, that is the sequence. And we're expecting this to be an A, B, C structure and one up before we get the drop. We'll update this as it plays along. There's no new trade there. You can't take this one. It's too small. And you can't take this one. It's too small. The one that you want is at least this one and eventually this big corrective structure. That is pound chief. Let's run through the rest of the pound pairs. Pound Audi. Now pound Audi is just going sideways with this corrective structure, which we looked at as W, X, Y, X, Z. Are we going to get a push to the upside? That's what we're waiting for. Looks like it's still going to make a move to the downside. So if we're looking at this one, it's going to make W, X, Y, X, Z. Now, which structures am I looking at? Let's identify those structures. You've got your X there as a regular flat. You've got another X as a running flat. So that's why this is a W, X, Y, X, Z. And remember, W, X, Y, and Z are all three waves. Now, somebody can say, why am I putting in W, X, Y on a impulsive move? It is not impulsive move. If you look at this, this is a clear move to the downside. Look at this spike, it goes back up and it goes back down. So that is three waves. Let's draw this with clear lines. Let's do this with clear lines so it can be clearly shown there. Let's take it off. It's a move down, it's a move up. It's important to identify these spikes as well. It's a three-wave move back, 1, 2, it's another running flat 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. You want the 3 down first, then that will be a WXY structure. You see, we don't force things. That's when you understand structures clearly, X, Y, Z. Only then will you expect at least a move to the upside. But that move may not be a reversal, it may just be a deeper corrective structure. Then everything changes, then you label this as a WX like that. Okay, bit of a complicated one, but let's watch how it goes. Next move, look for this to come retest break the low here to complete the Z. That is pound Audi, pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand is slightly different. You've got three-way move down here. You've got a internal structure here is 3 up, 3 back, and 3 up. Will this be a running flat? Could be, and then you get a structure like this. So that means pound New Zealand, you're expecting this in the next coming session. Three-way moves to the downside and then upside. So that will be your W, that will be your X, that will be your Y. Then you look for this one to push higher. That is pound New Zealand, pound CAD, also coming down. Now pound CAD could be a little bit tricky. Let's see here. So you've got 3 down, 3 up. You've got 1, 2. I should have used different colors. So it looks like we're going to get this one to come down here. It can do this. But for now, just focus on this down move here. On the 4-hour, this is the move that's coming down here. It can even come and retest here. So seeing as the other pound pairs are dropping, we should be targeting this level on pound CAD. Euro pound. Now euro pound, as much as the pound pairs are dropping slightly, you'll be expecting this one to make this move 1, 2, 1 up here, like that. Now this is a corrective structure. It's a move up, it's a move down. 1, 2, 3 internally, you should get a move down, up. Then when the pound pairs are done, we should get that last move to the downside and then move back. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. A bit of more sideways on the pound pairs. It's not going anywhere. So we should get this one to pull back. So the next move is this one here on euro pound. So that means the pound pairs are going to drop slightly. They're going to come back here like that. Inverse to what euro pound is doing. All right, now let's run through the rest of the euro pairs. Euro chief. Now euro chief is dropping with this structure. It does not look convincing as a drop. You've got a pulsing move here on euro chief, and what you're going to get here is a 3 move up, is a 3 move back, retest this level, should come back up here with an impulse because this is going to be an A, B, C. This is the only time where you label a 3-wave a 3-wave move with A because it's a single flat correction. So we should expect this one to come up with an impulse from these levels. So euro chief, we should get that move. Now we'll expect that one to give you move down and then upside. So that will be your A, B, C, and then that will be the move to the upside. Then we should get a deeper corrective structure, but let's not take it too far. For now, we're looking for this one to push higher. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at on euro chief. Very clear. This one just needs to break above here and then go retest the top there. I don't think it's going to go all the way from there, but let's watch it. Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, I've got a new setup for this one, maybe doing something slightly different. So what I'm looking at on Euro New Zealand, especially if it just comes and touches the blue box, it should be making this 3-wave pullback and we should be continuing lower here like that. So watch Euro New Zealand for downside. That's the one that we're looking at for a trade. And this is what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking for this structure to complete. This structure here. This structure here. And then a drop. Looks like the drop has started. It's not confirmed as yet. If it does this, then you look for it. We've got an indicator that confirms that for us. Members in our group knows. Right, that is Euro New Zealand. Euro Audi usually follows Euro New Zealand, so I'm just forecasting one more move to the downside here, back to this level. Okay, so that is a Euro Audi, simple like that. Just follow Euro New Zealand. EURCAD should drop as well after making a pulsing move. 1, 2, 3. Should actually continue lower. Now, EURCAD is not just this move that I'm forecasted. Remember, this is EURCAD. We forecasted that it was going to push up higher with the news. And I said during the next week that we expect this can be a corrective structure, and we would expect EURCAD to come and retest the previous low here, break this low, and then push higher. For now, you're looking at this 1, 2, and you've got a move here in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. Then you are looking for this continuation to the downside. You've got a move, you've got a correction. Correction needs to be confirmed for entry to come retest the low here before we go up. Okay, so let's go daily here. Just check the euro. How far it will go if we come down. So if euro comes down, you're just looking for this. Break the low into the blue box and push higher. Because the move on the euro is this one. Is for it to complete these green moves. There's all these moves end here in the blue box. I've got a blue box here that has not been tested yet. It did not touch the blue box. So that's why I wanted to come into the blue box and reverse. Because the move here overall is this one. And into the blue box, and then we reverse. That's EURCAD. All right, so let's look at some of the cross pairs. Audi. So I said the Audi pairs look like they're gonna drop. Look at this one. It's gonna drop as well. Watch it for a trade next week. Watch it for a trade next week. Trade of the week for next week. You need a pulsing move and a correction and target back this level. Audi New Zealand. Let's have a look at Audi New Zealand. Audi New Zealand retesting this top here. We should come back down like that, even if we're going to continue higher. So taking that, we should have divergence on the other side. We actually have a big divergence. So that one should pull back there. This one can even pull back all the way because that's a move, that's a move, that's a move, and then can pull back all the way. But let's get an entry here. If we get an entry like this and it starts correcting, we're going to be looking for this to move back like that. That is Audi New Zealand, CADJPY. CADJPY, look for this corrective structure. And then a drop. Okay. Look for this corrective structure and then the drop. So I'm looking for the CAD to drop from those levels. So wait for that confirmation first. Don't just go and sell it. AUDJPY, AUDJPY, you may get just one up here and then a drop. So 1, 2, 3, and we could be looking now for a drop here on AUDJPY. This will be the structure, and then we look for this one to drop. New Zealand CAD, we already looked at this one during trade setups. It's similar to EURCAD. Similar to EURCAD, let's have a look. You're looking for continuation to the downside. We spoke about this one during market analysis. I'll go through this one at length next week. We want it to drop to this level and push higher. That is New Zealand CAD. Let's look in the lower degree. In the lower degree, you see that we've got a move to the downside. Like this, we should get a correction to continue lower, to go break the low there. All right, now last but not least, New Zealand CHF. New Zealand CHF should continue lower to this level. Now, I'll be expecting it to push higher, but because of the rest of the New Zealand pairs dropping, I'll expect this one to keep going lower here to make this structure here like that. That will be an expanding flat. So a bit of a corrective structure, and then a move to the upside. Now, lastly, oil. Last oil, we said is going to make a 11 string sequence in that is going to make a WXYXZ. Now, as you see here, I've just drawn the structure. You can see the WXYXZ. Let's show you the lower degrees, 1, 2, 3 there. Let's show it with a different color. Lower degree, you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, you're expecting the last 3 now on oil, and that will be your W, that will be your X, Y, X. That is why I'm looking at this one as an 11 string sequence, and you'll be looking for this one to come down after that. That is oil. Okay, so what is the next move on oil? Slight push to the upside to complete the Z, and then the drop. That's how we're looking at oil. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Have a great week, guys. Good luck trading. Cheers. Bye-bye.